What is up YouTube, it's Ninja Cracker here. Today I wanted to bring you guys a more in-depth guide on defending the base in CTF. Mainly because in public matches I either see nobody defends or one person defends and they completely do it a noobish way and they just die every time and their flags end up getting pulled and capped. The gameplay you're watching is a competitive scrim of my clan versus my clan 4v4. There are two of some of the best slayers I've ever seen in Titanfall ever on the other team, so this gameplay is pretty action-packed. This is the second half of the game because I felt the first half wasn't very action-packed. A lot of them weren't really pushing the base as hard as they are now. But the number one mistake I see players make in CTF when defending is they just sit in a corner and they stare at the flag. Now, on some maps, that's an okay strategy, but on 90% of maps, 90% of the time, that's a terrible strategy because they could just throw a nade in there and kill you instantly. It's one of the main things I do when I play offense is I just cook a grenade and throw it in the base, and most of the time pick up somebody just not expecting it sitting in a corner. The best way to defend the base is to stay on a rooftop or stay where you have visual confirmation of what direction the enemies can come from. Like you see me doing right here. I'm just constantly checking and watching what direction they can come from. And most of the time killing them in transit to the base before they even actually make it to the base. Another thing is the classes. I think the best tactical ability is going to be Stim for defense for two reasons. One, for activating, if you activate Stim in the middle of a gunfight, that really boosts your chances of winning that gunfight. And the second reason you see me doing right here is a lot of the time your offensive players will get right outside of the base with the flag and then die, and Stim allows you to quickly boost out of the base, pick up that flag, and cap it. I actually get 2 caps right here in the second half, and I'm playing defense. So defense is not like, people act like defense is such like the bitch work, and it's really not. I think I dropped the most kills this game. But another thing I see a lot of players make, another mistake most players make, is when the flag is being pulled, they chase after the flag. And then most of the time they either die or they return the flag, and then there's an enemy in base waiting to pull the flag again, and then they just pull it again. So as soon as your flag is out of the base, like the enemy pulls your flag out of base, that's not your problem anymore. Your problem is just making sure the base is clear, whether it be for your teammates to counter pull the flag or your teammates to return the flag and have you defend it more. Or you constantly have to keep that base clear. Whether if the enemy pulls the flag out, that's your teammates' problem now. Your main mission is to keep the base clear for your teammates. But Amped Wall isn't a bad defensive ability, but I see most players, when they run Amped Wall and defend, they just sit in a corner with Amped Wall up, and that's a terrible strategy also. I mean, if you're sitting on a rooftop with Amped Wall, you can really use it to your advantage. It's not a bad strategy at all. But I find Stim to be the best one. Moving on to Titans, I feel there are 2 Titans that are best for defending, that being Northstar and Ion, mainly just because of their ordinances. Northstar's cluster missile is great for shooting on the flag when you hear enemies coming into the base. And Ion's laser tripwire, if you can put that directly on the flag or in a flag route, it's very, very effective, because the area of effect that the laser tripwire actually affects is ginormous. If a pilot is flying like 40 feet above it, it'll still go off and kill them. But on maps where the flag is in a building or a hard to reach location that you can't put your laser tripwires on it or near it, I just run Northstar and I shoot a cluster missile on it when I hear enemies getting close. But I think that's about it for this CTF defense guide. In short, don't sit in a corner, watch the directions that the enemies can come from. Run Northstar or Ion. Oh, my voice just cracked right there. Run Northstar or Ion. When the flag is being pulled, don't chase after the flag carrier. Just let your teammates worry about it. But most of the time, if you're a good defensive player, you should have the most kills on your team. Because most of the time in public games and just even going against clans, I find that most of them just all run offense. Nobody runs defense, nobody's on midfield, everyone just runs offense and tries to constantly pull the flag. Which is easy work for you. Most of the time you can mop up, because they don't expect a defense player to actually be playing defense, because for whatever reason nobody defends in this game. I don't know why. But if you're playing defense, you should be getting probably the most kills in your team, like you see me doing right here. But that's it for this defense guide. This has been Ninja Cracker, and peace out, Girl Scout.